But first, new at 6, a Georgia mother's murder conviction reversed after she was originally found guilty of playing a role in her 2-week-old daughter's death.
The state appeals court now saying that there was not sufficient evidence to convict Cortney Bell of second-degree murder and child cruelty. Joe Hankey spoke with the Newton County District Attorney about what is next for this case.
Jeff, for now, the baby's mother, Cortney Bell, will remain in prison. The Georgia Court of Appeals reversed Bell's second-degree murder and child cruelty convictions, but it did say there was sufficient evidence for a third lesser charge she was also found guilty of.
Kalia McNabb was born in September of 2017. 2 weeks later, Kalia's mother, Cortney Bell, frantically called 911.
She's not in her sleeper. She's not here. I've looked everywhere.
Soon after that call, search crews found Kalia's body in a nearby wooded area. The GBI ruled her death was a homicide by blunt force trauma. Prosecutors said Kalia's father, Christopher McNabb, ultimately killed her, while Bell's use of meth caused her to be negligent, contributing to the murder.
It's a sickness, but I tried to be a good mama. I love my babies.
McNabb was charged with malice murder. Bell was charged with second-degree murder, second-degree child cruelty, and a charge called contributing to the dependency of a minor, meaning Bell's actions or lack of actions led to Kalia being abused or neglected. Both were found guilty at trial.
We went to trial on those charges because we believe that there was sufficient evidence to prove those charges.
Randy McGinley was not the district attorney for Newton County at trial, but is now and is still reviewing the Georgia Appeals Court's opinion. It reverses Bell's murder and child cruelty convictions, writing they were based on insufficient evidence.
The argument from the state was not that Ms. Bell caused injuries herself, just that her negligence and neglect are what led to those injuries. And that was the theory we went forward, forward on in trial, and that's what the jury convicted him on.
In its opinion, the appeals court wrote Bell argues that the evidence was insufficient to establish that she caused the massive trauma to the victim's head either directly or as a party to the crime. We agree. McGinley says he has until early next week to decide if he will appeal to the state Supreme Court in an attempt to uphold the murder conviction.
Second-degree murder has only been around since, I think, 2014, and so there's not a ton of case law about that, and that's one of the considerations I have to take into account as well.
In that trial, Cortney Bell was sentenced to serve 30 years, the first half in prison and then 15 years on probation. McGinley tells me without the murder and child cruelty convictions, Bell would need to be resentenced by a judge solely for that third lesser charge she was found guilty of. The maximum sentence for that charge is 10 years, but she would receive credit for time already served.